Hello guys, welcome back to another Death Battle prediction. And today's we have Blade from Marvel Comics versus Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now I see a lot of people sleeping on Buffy and they come, oh well, I don't know who Buffy is, who's this random? Y'all are mad sleeping on Buffy, I'm 100% not gonna lie. But anyway, let's get into the prediction. Okay, for strength, we have Buffy being able to lift something called a cow catcher, which is basically the front part of a locomotive. I can't find the exact weight, but from what the closest I could find, that weighs around 2.5 tons. And it looks like she's doing it with like a minimal effort, so she could possibly lift a lot more. For speed, she's been able to run up to a bullet and catch it after it has been fired. That is pretty fast for a subpar normal human for the most part. We also have this feat. This feat is self-explanatory, and yes, this is exactly what it looks like, a mountain level you-know-what feat. This should be extremely hilarious if they bring this up. I really hope they do, because it would be really unique to see them actually talk about it. Her gear, for the most part, is, the typical stakes, crosses, holy water, garlic, stuff like that can normally kill vampires. I'm assuming she has more since she's also dealt with a lot of other different monsters. I will say this, Buffy probably has fought a more diverse rap sheet than Blade has. And we have this feat, which is Willow having a blade that could that can tear into other realities. Now, I don't know if Death Battle's going to give them that. I highly doubt they will, but it's Death Battle. Literally anything is possible at this point what they could use. For Blade, he has a healing factor. He was able to take 2 swords through the back and was fine. And stuff like garlic, holy water, crosses, sunlight don't work since Blade is something called a half-breed or a daywalker. So the typical vampire stuff doesn't really apply to Blade here. So at the end of the day, who do I think is probably going to end up winning? Now I know for a fact they're probably not going to be giving Blade light speed. They're probably going to put him around bullet timing since that's what he's consistently. Well, yes, he can't keep on par with people who are light speed. They haven't done that before. Like Daredevil has done the same thing before, but they didn't give him light speed either. So they're probably going to put him around his normal speed, which is like cutting through bullets and stuff like that. And I know Blade had an amp recently, since I think Marvel did a vampire thing recently. Or like, at least this year I know they did a vampire thing. They're probably not going to give him that. Assuming they're going to go more the Miles Morales type of scaling, they're not going to be giving him these Herald scaling weapons or these Herald scaling feats like being able to take hits from Jane Foster's Thor. They're more than likely not going to be doing that. But at the end of the day, Blade just hardcore counters Buffy, and that's really it. Like her normal standard way of killing vampires, like Stakes of the Heart, Holy Water, Crosses, stuff like that, does not apply to Blade. So he just hardcore counters her arsenal at this point. And even if they're going to go with the Buffy is stronger route, Blade is more experienced than Buffy by a long shot. He's fought against way stronger opponents than Buffy. And for skill, they're probably going to pull they're both somewhat equally skilled, but Blade has more experience than Buffy. Therefore, Blade is more skilled. They're probably going to pull something like that. It's weird. Like, this is really going to come down to how they are going to composite Buffy. Since Buffy does have some external material besides the comics and shows, I think. So this is going to be interesting to see how they composite Buffy. But since Blade does have a better healing factor, he's more experienced, and he just hardcore counters Buffy's weapons. And also the fact is, like, his super sense, like, super small, I guess. Buffy's not going to be able to pull a sneak attack on Blade because of his abilities like that. So, more than likely, Blade is probably going to end up winning. It would just make more sense logically from what we know. But I'm 100% going to be rooting for Buffy. Buffy is a million times better than Blade. By a long shot, but, Blade 1 has the better experience, has probably the better weaponry and arsenal since he wears bulletproof vests. He carries guns, swords. He basically carries a lot more firepower than Buffy does. And again, I don't know what they're going to be pulling for Buffy. For all we know, they could pull some crazy feat out of their ass. I don't know what they're going to pull for Buffy. We will have to wait and see. But as of right now, if I had to place a bet, I'd probably and most likely place it on Blade. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this prediction. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Take care. Love y'all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.